One of the most common questions I get about songwriting is, what's my songwriting process? And I think people think when you sit down to write a song that it's, lyrics and music and, all these things. And that's true. I mean, songs do have lyrics and they have melodies and they have chords and rhythms and things like that. But for me, I think songs, as many songs as I've written, most of them kind of come from different angles. Sometimes it's the music first. Sometimes it's kind of a cool chord progression. Maybe it's an old song that I heard that I want to kind of get a vibe of that in there. Or maybe it's, a piece of a little note in or a run in a Mozart piece or something that just catches your ear. A lot of times, great lyrical ideas come from just hearing people say things that people say every day, but said in a weird way that kind of tweaks your ear and makes it interesting to you. So I think songs can come from anywhere, and when you're co-writing, a lot of times you're bouncing ideas off each other when you get started, and you're kind of writing what's in the room. When you're writing by yourself, sometimes that inspiration comes from different places, and sometimes you have a melody idea, sometimes you have a story idea. I do a lot of songwriting rudiments, just like to practice to hone my craft all the time, and one of those is like object writing. So take an object, and maybe it's something weird like orange styrofoam or raspy snake or something. Just a weird idea, and you just write all sense-based around there. And I might write a couple of pages, and maybe you get a line out of that, maybe you don't. But it does force your brain to kind of, in this training mode of just being able to write on demand in a very sense-based thing where you're showing rather than telling. And I think for me, lyrically, that show rather than tell is really important. And then for the music and melody, it also has to be interesting. So that also brings me back to, once you write a song, that's usually just kind of half of it, because most great songs are rewritten, not written. So I really love rewriting, and I kind of look at a kind of almost scientific approach of like, what is it that could be better about this song? Do the lyrics all make sense? If you read them out loud across the verses and chorus, does it all kind of make sense? Or is there something that kind of sticks in your mind that maybe needs to be changed? Is there a line that may be kind of generic, like you might have used the word something? Usually if you use a word like something or some kind of abstract thing, usually you can bring it in with something that's more attention-getting and grabbing and scene-setting. And then aside from lyrics, sometimes it's the rhythm, sometimes it's the melody. You can change a note here or there just to make it more interesting. So there's so many ways to rewrite songs, and that's kind of part of the process I like the most. And in the end, when you're in a co-write especially, or even when you're writing by yourself, the whole process while you're writing the song, eventually you're just kind of, while you're writing it, you're actually rewriting it. You're considering all these different ideas and mulling them over in your head and trying to figure out which one you think is the best. And hopefully you get to something that you're really happy with.